So to wrap it up, I personally prefer living in
Stars shining bright above me. Breezes seem to whisper.
Hello, welcome back to my channel, V from Venus. I'm YTV. If you're new, hi, nice to meet you. And if you're not new, hi, nice to see you again. Before we get into the video, there is a quick explanation that I want to make. It's about my audience and my content. So if you're not interested, feel free to skip this part. I put the timestamp below for you to be easier to skip to the part that you're interested in. So yeah, I have two different groups of audience. One is young audience, typically in the age range of 16 to 20, who have subscribed to my channel for big sister advice videos or for videos where I share my thoughts on a specific topic. And on the other hand, there is international audience who have subscribed to my channel for contents about Myanmar, like places of Myanmar, culture, language, and situation. So I get a lot more views when I make videos about places or talk about Myanmar than the videos where I just talk about random stuff that come across my mind. To be honest, I prefer making videos about sharing my thoughts and advice. I feel good to look back at those videos and realize how much I have changed or how mature I've become. And I also like to become an inspiration for young audience. To be honest, I don't really have a niche. I sometimes feel like making pointless videos, sometimes talking about Myanmar and showing you places, sometimes about life lessons all of a sudden. So what I want to say here is, if you're new to my channel and subscribe to me just because of this video, like this type of video, please don't, because I make all types of videos. I don't enjoy making videos about Myanmar all the time. So yeah, now let's just get right into the content. So in this video, I'm gonna be comparing and contrasting the pros and cons of living in Yangon versus Mandalay. As most of you know, I've been traveling back and forth to Mandalay for the past few years because of my work, and I really love living here. But Yangon is where I grew up in and where I settled my life in. So it's really hard for me to choose between Yangon and Mandalay. So I have prepared some of the factors to consider to come to conclusion whether I like Yangon better or Mandalay better. Let's talk about the first factor to consider: traffic. The traffic congestion is the worst in Yangon. Motorcycles are banned and trains are not very common in Yangon. And Mandalay as well. Actually, trains are not very common in Myanmar. So people who can afford buy cars, and middle class and working class people, they use either buses or taxis. So the main modes of transportation in Yangon are buses and taxis, which leads to frustrating traffic jam with vehicles moving at a snail's pace. In Mandalay, it's legal to ride motorcycles, and every household had at least a motorcycle. And I don't see a lot of buses here. So the main modes of transportation here are auto rickshaws and motorcycles. So compared to Yangon, Mandalay has less traffic jams, which I love about. So for this factor, I would give 1 point to Mandalay. Now let's talk about the climate. Yangon is in the tropical moist forest zone, and it has the tropical monsoonal climate, whereas Mandalay is located in the tropical very dry forest zone, and it has the tropical savanna climate. In rainy season, monsoon rains are persistent in Yangon, but in Mandalay, rain will be more sporadic. And Mandalay is intensely hot and humid much of the year because it is located in the central dry zone. So if you come here in April, you're gonna be a roast chicken, trust me. So I would give 1 point to Yangon for this. Now let's talk about the population. Yangon is the largest city in Myanmar with a population of, let me check, 5 million of people, rated as the most populated city, whereas Mandalay has over only 1.4 million of populations according to World Urbanization Prospects. Yangon is considered as the industrial and commercial city with more job opportunities, because I can't say opportunities, more job opportunities and international education centers for people than in Mandalay, which is very good. But on the other hand, as a lot of people from different parts of Myanmar have come to Yangon for jobs and education, Yangon has become a city with a dense population and cluttered streets. Yangon has become a busy and chaotic city, which has many problems with squatters and poor disposal of waste. So compared to Yangon, Mandalay has a lot more cleaner streets and is more disciplined. So I would choose Mandalay for this point because I am more into living in a relaxed city than in a bustling city. Now let's talk about the job opportunities. Why is it so hard to say opportunities? So as I mentioned above, there are more job opportunities in Yangon than in Mandalay because there are more foreign direct investments in Yangon. Although Mandalay is a cleaner and more disciplined city, Yangon is a better choice for your further study and for job opportunities. So I will give this point to Yangon, period. Now, cost of living, a very important factor to include. Based on my observation, the rental fees in Yangon are much pricier than in Mandalay. As a local, you can rent a 2-bedrooms apartment, which is mid-range, for around 400,000 Myanmar kyats, which is around $200. Whereas in Mandalay, you can get a mid-range compound house with that price. Yangon is filled with apartments. In Mandalay, you will see a lot more houses. So for me, I personally prefer living in house than in apartment because it's more spacious and has more personal outdoor space. But the transportation cost is cheaper in Yangon than in Mandalay. I have only seen a few public buses here and they don't get to everywhere. So if you want to go around the city, you have to either take a taxi or auto rickshaw or a motorcycle. If you don't have a motorcycle, it's likely to cost you a lot more than in Yangon, because in Yangon you can just easily take a bus, which is very convenient and very cheap. And buses in Yangon have improved a lot in recent years. For other expenses on groceries and restaurant, they're slightly cheaper in Mandalay than in Yangon. So I would choose Mandalay at this point because I don't usually go out that much, so I don't think I really have to consider about the transportation cost in my concern. So one more point added to Mandalay. When it comes to comparing the tourist attractions in Yangon and Mandalay, they have quite different tastes to offer. Yangon has colonial influences in architecture. You will see a lot of colonial buildings such as the Secretariat, High Court, Roe and Co. and etc. You can check the video where I made about the colonial buildings in Yangon. There's a link to that here or there, somewhere here and there, okay? So you will see busy streets filled with street food, bars, and markets in Yangon. Mandalay is a former royal capital city with ancient pagodas, royal palace surrounded by a moat, hills, waterfalls, and the longest wooden bridge. You can also explore cultural heritage and the history of Myanmar in Mandalay. You can experience nature. So if you're looking for nature and history, choose Mandalay. Or choose Yangon if you're looking for a bustling and lively nightlife or market scene. But for me, I would choose Mandalay because I prefer living in a peaceful city than in a bustling city. So another point added to Manly. To wrap it up, I personally prefer living in Manly than in Yangon because it's more affordable and more peaceful and less chaos. But everyone has different taste in literally everything. So let me know which one is your choice, Yangon or Mandalay. Please let me know in the comment section. So that's it for this video. I hope you find this video useful to you. If you don't, just don't. So stay safe and stay healthy. Don't forget to stay awesome too. Bye bye. See you in the next video.